Hey guys, hope you're having another great week of training. Good to be back on YouTube. So today I just want to talk about being proactive, being more proactive in your training. And what kind of brought this about was I was teaching a class last week. Most of our instructors were gone away for the Pan Championships, and then so I had to cover a few classes while they were away, which is no problem for me. So I want to mix it up a little bit just because the instructors are gone, so that's the perfect time to mix it up. So I had the guys warm up. For their warm up, I had the guys just drill some passes, drill any passes that they wanted to work on, and so for me, I thought that would be super simple, super easy. We're gonna have fun, just knock it out. But as soon as I said that, as soon as I told the guys what to do, man, they started looking at me like, oh, like, what do I do? And even some of the higher belts, who I kind of expected to just roll with it. So you have to be proactive in your training. That's something I think is really, 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 really important, especially as you progress through the belts. You get to purple, brown, black. You're not going to have your instructor holding your hands. They're not going to they're going to show you techniques, and they're going to keep helping you with your fundamentals and, just those little things. But I think overall, you have to look at your game. You have to become an expert in your jiu-jitsu style, your jiu-jitsu game. And so going back to what I was saying about the guys drilling the techniques, drilling the passes, so they're like, oh, what do I do? Alec, what passes do I use? And I'm like, man, I don't know what passes you use. You have to give me some help with that. You have to have an idea of what you do. Sorry, there's something in my eye. You have to have an idea of like what you do. And I think that's where you're going to see a lot of growth in your jiu-jitsu. Is when you learn more about yourself and like what techniques you like to use, how you like to pass the guard, how you sweep, your submissions, things like that. And I think a lot of people kind of forego that. It's really easy to just come in and train and you just do what your instructor shows you to do, the techniques, and you roll, and then that's it. Like you just keep doing that, every time you come and train. But eventually you're gonna run into, that you're just gonna run into a plateau where, just that generalized game or your instructor's game, it will only take you so far. And so you're going to have to take the time to actually study your game and, cultivate your game. Again, everyone's body is different. Everyone's style is different. Everyone's mentality is different. And so one game can't possibly fit, like, say you have one instructor, it can't possibly fit every student's game. It's just not possible. So I think if you really want to get better, improve your jiu-jitsu, you just need to take a long, hard look at what yourself and what you're doing. I think one thing that really helps me is, after I'm done training, I'll sit, after I'm, the session's over, all right, guys, you bow and all that stuff. After that's done, I like to sit down and just kind of review my roles that day. Like, what happened? What did I do really well? What did I kind of mess up on? And what did the person do really well to me? And I'll really just think about, you don't need every little detail. I mean, if you can remember every little detail, that's really, really important. You're going to improve really fast. But I like to just look at the highlights. So, man, if something really stands out to me, and that's what I'll kind of reflect on. Like, man, how did that sweep work? How did I sweep that one guy? I'll really take my time and try to remember what I was doing. So if you're not at that point, I think that's a good starting point for you. When you're rolling, after your rolls, just sit down. It's not meditation, but it's very similar to meditation. You sit down and get in a very comfortable position. Maybe while you're stretching. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Got cut off a little bit. So again, when I like to reflect, I like to get in a comfortable position. Maybe I'm stretching. Just something where somewhere where I could just be really relaxed and just have that just pure focus. So again, you just want to be able to kind of just review, like just like the game tape that NFL players watch or whatever. Like just be able to kind of have an idea of like what you did during your training, and that's going to help guide your training outside of that. Just knowing, hey, I need to work on this thing or that thing, that's going to be really beneficial for just improving your jiu-jitsu. And just being proactive, like, okay, now you know like what you need to work on. So the next step is going to be putting it into action. So actually drilling your moves that you need to work on. And I know it's really hard, depending on where you are and your academy, how it's set up. But most academies have some type of open mat. So if you can find some time like that, um, so like open mat, man, don't just go and train. Like it's really important to get that training in. But if you're just training just to train, that's not the best way. That's not the most efficient way to use your time. So it might be better to drill, those moves that you need to work on, your guard passes, your sweeps, or if you do want to train, maybe do like more positional sparring, like put yourself in, hey, I need to work on how to pass close guard, so I'm gonna start in my partner's close guard and just work to pass close guard. um so it's things like that. That's what's really gonna push your jiu-jitsu. And I think competing, like a next step after that would be like competing. Competing's really a really great way to be proactive in your jiu-jitsu study, because it's as fair as a competition can be. You're going against people, similar weight, similar skill set, similar skill level, and similar experience. So as far as like competition, that's as fair as it's going to get, guys. And then when you're competing, like, you're going to be exposed to, someone that doesn't know you, someone that, wants to beat you. And a lot of times you're going to find holes in your own game. But don't take it like, if you lose or whatever, it's, okay, you lost. But you need to look at that as just another form of feedback. So that feedback, is going to expose like other things that you need to work on. And it's only going to make you stronger. So again, just being able to kind of review your roles, like what are you doing during your roles, and then being able to practice what you need to work on. And then competing, I think, helps a lot too, being proactive. And you'll see that a lot with the top level guys, the guys that have won 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 world championships. There's a reason that they continue to compete. And it's really easy for them to just say, hey, I'm just gonna rest and relax. But they also realize that there's a younger crop of people coming up right behind them, ready to take their place. That's something that motivates them. And also, I think for a lot of those guys, that's the only time where they get pushed to, the extent of their technique and their conditioning and their motivation. Like they have to go compete to get better, because maybe where they're training at, the students aren't quite at that level yet. So when they go compete, that's when they're able to see, oh, this is working really well, that's working really well. They're able to that's when they use those competitions to improve themselves. So that's really important. And also just in your training, you should have an idea of like what you want to work on when you're training. Sometimes when you go and train, it's more about just that psychological relief, that catharsis. Just, hey, I had a hard day at work and I just want to, forget about everything. But other times, if you want to get better, you have to go into your training with the game plan. Like, hey, I need to really work on my guard on my left side. So I'm going to, when I go with the lower belt, I'm going to kind of work more of that and, try to go out of my comfort zone, go out of your comfort zone, and just kind of explore your game a little bit more. because you can't just play to your strengths. That's something I see with a lot of people. They just, if something works, hey, they just keep using that thing for like 10 years, but they don't progress. But the people that do progress, they're always working on, some part of their game, something here, something there. They're always looking for that next step, that next thing that they can improve on. And I'm a big believer in that no one's perfect at jiu-jitsu, even the best guys. There's so much things that you can improve upon. So you just gotta go out there, man. Step out of your comfort zone. If you got a really good top game, hey man, time to work on that bottom game. You might get passed a lot, but that's just gonna motivate you to get a better guard. Hopefully that frustration pushes you to, all right, I'm gonna keep my guard. For a little bit longer than the last time I trained, or I'm gonna make sure they can't do that one pass on me that they did last time. So just little goals, got cut off one more time. So hopefully, guys, I hope those tips help you guys improve your jiu-jitsu, and I can't wait for my next video. And there's so many cool topics. Can't wait to bring out. What else? Guys, my friend Chris Moriarty was just published on not published, but they just added him to the BJJ Heroes website. So if you guys, please go check him out. I think it's funny they had me on there before him, because I trained underneath Chris. So he's one of the best competitors and persons that I've ever met. So go check him out. And again, like this video and subscribe. Just show me that you guys want more videos. Again, got a lot of great content out there. Guys, good luck in training. Ciao.